Okay, so this is the Audible version of the 7-page tutorial on low impact development. Low impact development is all about stormwater, and it's a sustainable approach to stormwater where stormwater is managed in a way that it works with nature to plan and design within the context of a watershed. Managing stormwater close to its source, close to where the rain water falls. Low impact development preserves natural resources and uses biological processes together with mechanical systems to slow and spread out stormwater, filtering it through the landscape so that it can soak into soils, creating functional and beautiful site drainage that treats stormwater as a resource rather than as a waste product. So a sustainable approach to stormwater management thinks about people and the places they like to be when they're outdoors, whether they're walking to or from schools or work or home and shopping, or whether they're recreating outside in the parks or the trails. Those are all opportunities for low impact development stormwater management. Low impact development stormwater management talks about or thinks about the environment. It basically is a way to not only get rid of our stormwater, but use our stormwater as a resource and use our natural resources and protect our natural resources to help us manage those the stormwater runoff in the way of forests and that clean our water as the rain comes down, and as the water moves over planted areas, that all cleans the rainwater. And because of that, it protects our rivers and streams and bayous. It protects them from erosion because it slows down rainwater, and it increases the water quality because that vegetation lowers the temperature of the water. So in many ways, low impact development thinks about our environment. And as well, low impact development thinks about economics and the importance of economic development in our communities. We want our communities to grow and be thriving, and places where people can earn livings and live in places that they feel proud to live in. But this doesn't have to come at the expense of the environment. So these three can all work together. Many times low impact development actually saves money by taking pressure off municipal systems. And it also saves money in terms of many times the installation costs are actually lower than conventional stormwater infrastructure. So let's dig in and learn a little bit more about the background of why this is so important. So stormwater, as you probably know, carries with it pollutants, pet and livestock waste, sediments from construction runoff, litter, such as our Mardi Gras fun, pesticides and fertilizers, oils and gas from the roadways, and even yard waste as it goes down into the gutters. That just that clogs up those pipes and really just contributes to pollution. And then all of that runs down through the stormwater system into out into the Mississippi Sound. And in the meanwhile, using those concrete systems eliminates much of our vegetated areas, and so then those areas become prone to flooding when we have high intensity rainfall. That rainwater, the high volume mixed with the speed, causes flooding of the landscapes and flooding of neighborhoods and flooding of waterways downstreams, as well as damage to streams and the stream banks and the erosion that occurs. So we're doing all this really. The reason we want to move in the direction of low impact development is to protect our beautiful waterways. So how does low impact development differ from conventional stormwater management anyway? Well, if we look at this chart over here, you see conventional stormwater management quickly moves stormwater off-site, carrying all those pollutants that we just talked about with it. Conventional stormwater management uses piped underground systems to carry stormwater to an outlet. Many times, this goes directly to a natural water body. In contrast, though, low-impact development manages stormwater close to its source. Many times, many designs are such that the stormwater is completely managed on a site and never affects neighboring sites. And the process metabolizes those pollutants on site rather than moving them off to our natural water bodies. We do that in low impact development by slowing and spreading out stormwater so that it can be filtered through vegetation. And thereby it has time to soak into the soil before reaching a natural body of water. So these images show how many times we use mechanical systems together with more biological solutions in low impact development. And you can read more about the different types of mechanical solutions versus biological solutions. But basically, there's the opportunity to control the flow through mechanical solutions, to detain water for a period of time, to retain water indefinitely. Or we can move toward filtering water through the landscape so that it can infiltrate downward into the soils. And then in the most intense biological solutions, the rainwater is actually treated by applications such as constructed wetlands. So we all see the value, I think, of urban development, and we can appreciate how that brings us closer to the places we like to go. But at the same time, with every building that goes down, with every new shopping mall, with every new street that goes in, that building footprint, we call it, displaces water and displaces the natural hydrology of the landscape. And so through low impact development, it offers solutions to manage our stormwater while also continuing to grow our communities. So this slide just talks about the multiple scales that low impact development can be applied, from the very small residential home scale to the street scale, all the way up to the neighborhood and park and regional scale. So open spaces are really a great way and a great opportunity for managing stormwater. So it all begins, though, with a good site analysis. Trying to get over there. So in a site analysis, especially with low impact development, many different disciplines come together, from the property owner to the municipality to the engineers and the landscape architects and the ecologists and hydrologists. And the starting point is to ask questions. So some of the questions we ask are there parts of this site, this neighborhood, or this region that can be left natural in order to manage stormwater? Existing trees and vegetation have a tremendous capacity for water absorption and flood protection. Their root systems require water and stabilize soils. Leaves attenuate off every drop of water. And the cooler temperatures of conservation areas, as we talked about earlier, contribute to more stable temperatures and better water quality in natural water bodies. We ask, how does the water flow on this current site, this pre-developed land? Where does it go? And we ask that because topography and soil drainage make up a site's hydrology, determining where water flows and how well it soaks into the soil. The existing hydrology, it's really important that be understood before a site is planned or designed. Another question we ask is, what are the opportunities to slow and spread out and filter stormwater on this site so that it can infiltrate the soils right here? Managing stormwater close to the source is a key part of low-impact development, and it prevents stormwater from impacting neighboring sites or downstream waterways. And this takes pressure off municipal systems. So designers and this multidisciplinary team look at several different strategies for the site, including cluster and or conservation development, clustering buildings close together so that it leaves room for some open space. We work to minimize the building footprint. Think about how that building can be designed so that there's less concrete put down. How can we can conserve or create on-site wooded and open green space areas to manage stormwater, and we can mimic pre-development hydrology by utilizing existing topography as much as possible. Another site strategy is to minimize impacts to the water resources. So any stormwater that we can prevent from flowing off site or flowing into a natural water body is a good thing. We want to identify and protect sensitive and special value resources such as riparian buffers, existing trees and shrubs with established root systems. Those established root systems are extremely important to stabilizing the soil and for water absorption. We also want to maintain natural flow pathways as wetlands. One of the worst things that we can do is fill in a wetland, and so those wetlands are nature's filter, and they're what filters our water naturally. And so many times we have to create constructed wetlands to replace the job that natural wetlands have done, because natural wetlands have been developed, unfortunately. Another site strategy is to minimize any soil disturbance as much as possible and minimize compaction of soils that are already in place during the construction process. In the construction process, we create well-marked paths for equipment and designated points for stockpiling, so that that construction process doesn't put pressure on the existing trees and their root systems, because those root systems are extremely important to managing our stormwater. So once the site has been thoroughly evaluated, we go to a kind of a toolkit of low impact development tools and think about which tools are best for that site. And it's always different for each site. This diagram shows many of the tools that are used in low impact development, and they range from the most mechanical, such as oversized pipes and flow control devices, to more biological solutions, such as vegetated filter strips, green roofs. Here's a pervious paving diagram, but the most biological solutions are in the form of rain gardens and maintaining riparian buffers, designing bioswales, infiltration basins, and, like I spoke of earlier, constructed wetlands. But it's important to understand that if you see some of these applications used in real life, you might see what's going on the surface, but it's important to know that there's a lot going on below the surface. So this particular design is designed for a certain stormwater level, but when stormwater exceeds that level, it'll go into an overflow pipe that will carry it to a municipal system. And the soils are structured such that they will hold the stormwater for a certain period of time until the native soils dry up so that they can receive the stormwater. Okay, so now here are some more pictorial examples of some of those low impact development tools that can be used in various applications. So here's a dry swale, which a dry swale means it's designed to be dry at some times and wet at other times. So it's designed to, beneath the surface, this is all very intricately designed so that the water that this swale holds in super rainy seasons will infiltrate the soil. This particular one comes with a series of check dams, which work to slow that stormwater down even more than the grassy areas would as it's moving downward in the swale. This is a infiltration, and these are infiltration and flow-through planters, but the water gets to them off of the road. Stormwater, as stormwater runs down the road, these curb cuts allow water to enter these stormwater or these flow-through planters, and so rather than just piping that water underground, we can pipe it into beautiful planted areas that create nice walkways for people. In terms of, as these trees grow up, they'll provide shade for people. But not only that, this vegetated area creates a nice buffer between the pedestrian and the street. And then lastly, I'm not sure you can see this one very well. Yeah. So the vegetated filter strip is another example. And this is a good example to be used in a golf course or a park, or you might have seen this along a running path that you take. But basically the landscape is sloped toward a lake that's not shown in this picture. And the rainwater will sheet flow across this lawn area, and it'll continue to slope over this path. And this planted area is designed so that as the rainwater travels down this slope, this grassy area is filtering the water. And you see it's really kind of filtering it horizontally through the landscape. And then the grass gets even denser before the water body. And what that means is once the storm water gets to the water body, any fertilizers that are used, any pollutants that are collected up here on the walkway or the roadway, all of that's filtered before it gets to the body of water. This is an example of a bioswale in a parking area. And it's just right down the middle of the parking area. Instead of that just being mowed, it's specifically designed for the rainwater to flow from the parking area. All of that, the oils and chemicals that come off of the cars, all of that flows into this bioswale when it rains. And the plantings in the bioswale help to clean that polluted stormwater. But it's not just, again, it's not just what you see on the surface. It's a very intricately designed system below the surface so that this actually creates storage capacity for the rainwater until giving it time to then infiltrate the native soils. And then here's an example of a rain garden that collects water from a rooftop down through a gutter system, and the water is directed toward a depression in the landscape, which can be planted with plants that love water. We call them plants with wet feet. But again, even below the surface, there's engineered soil that is specifically engineered to hold water, and there's a certain amount of gravel, and that this will all hold the storm water before it or while it giving it time to infiltrate those soils and thereby not flooding this overall landscape. Okay, so that completes the 7-page tutorial. Now just go back to your outline and work through the rest of the outline, and be sure to submit by May 15th. We can't wait to see what you come up with. And don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions. My contact information is over here. Have fun with it, and good luck to you all.